20 years ago, if a Linux blogger had written, "I can't live without Microsoft Office," they probably would have had to find a new audience, or people would have assumed Microsoft was paying them. Today, I hear creators who talk about Linux and open source saying the exact same thing about DaVinci Resolve, and nobody raises an eyebrow. Something has changed, and I'm not sure it's for the better. What you're seeing on screen was made with Kdenlive by Nuxttux Creative Studio, a YouTube channel that creates tutorials about this program. I'm showing it to you because it gives a clear sense of what this software can actually do. And I'm not just talking from the outside. Using Kdenlive has honestly improved my experience as a YouTuber too. Which raised a question. That's the reason I'm making this video. How is it that a program this functional, this powerful, this ready, doesn't have the success it deserves? Because Kdenlive does have success. Let's be clear. The problem is it should have much more. And in my opinion, the answer is interesting, because it isn't technical. It's cultural. In this video, we'll do three things. First, I'll show you concretely what Kdenlive does today, in 2026, because a lot of people have an idea of it that's frozen 5 years in the past. Then we'll do an honest comparison with DaVinci Resolve, where Resolve genuinely matters, and where instead, it's pure overkill. And finally, the most interesting part, why this bias exists, where it comes from, and why we should talk about it. Let's start with a simple question. What does 90% of creators on YouTube actually do? Cuts on clips, a few transitions, lower thirds, 1 or 2 audio tracks, a bit of color correction, maybe some subtitles, and export at 1080p or 4K H.264. I say this because it's easy to fall into the idea that video editing is one monolithic thing that requires one type of tool. It isn't. Editing a vlog isn't editing a film. Editing a product review isn't editing an HDR documentary. They're different activities with different needs, and Kdenlive for that 90% covers everything. Let me show you what I mean. Unlimited multi-track editing, obviously. Multicam with automatic sync via audio waveform. You record 3 angles, you select them, right-click, multicam sync, and it lines them up for you. Number keys to switch angles in real time. Automatic proxy editing for those who shoot in 4K and don't have a beast of a machine. Kdenlive generates low-resolution proxies you edit smoothly on, and at final render it uses the original files. This is exactly what Resolve does, exactly the same way. Keyframes on practically any parameter, position, scale, opacity, audio volume, effect parameters, with linear, discrete, or curve interpolation. Logo animations, dynamic zooms on talking heads, custom transitions, all in here. Vector scope, RGB parade, waveform, histograms. Yes, the professional scopes for color grading are there. Curves, LUT, color wheels via dedicated effects. It isn't Resolve's color page, and I'll say so later, but for color corrections on a YouTube video, it's more than adequate. Automatic subtitles with Whisper integrated. Yes, OpenAI's transcription AI integrated for years, free local running on your machine without sending anything to the cloud. Generates, translates, exports SRT. How many of you pay for separate subtitle services? I'm literally saving you money as I speak. Chroma key for green screen, stabilization, denoise, automatic masking with AI segmentation based on the SAM2 model. Yes, rotoscoping with artificial intelligence has arrived in Kdenlive too. They added it in version 25.04. Recognizes objects, separates them, you can mask them automatically. And then the new stuff in 26.04, released a few weeks ago, animated previews of transitions. You see how they'll look before applying them. Automatic adjustment of transition duration to the clips you put it on. Monitor mirroring to an external display for those working with 2 screens. Math expressions inside the numeric fields of effects for those who want precision. Title editor with scrolling credits, typewriter effect, complete formatting. Integrated audio mixer, decently improved over the last 2 years. Automatic backup every few minutes. Useful. Because let's be honest, sometimes it crashes. We'll talk about that. This is a piece of software that if someone showed it to me without telling me the name, I wouldn't know whether it's free or whether it costs 50 euros a month. Now let's do the hard part. The part where I say where Resolve is actually better. Because if I pretend they're equivalent, you stop trusting me, and you'd be right. Resolve has 4 real advantages, and I'll give them to you in order of importance. First, serious cinematic color grading. Resolve's color page is based on the color science black magic developed for cinema. It has won technical awards. It's what colorists in Hollywood use. Node-based workflow, primaries and secondaries, color tracking on moving objects, advanced qualifiers. If someone shoots in RAW, in B-RAW, in cinema log profiles, and wants to grade like an auteur film, Resolve is in another league. Honest question, how many YouTubers shoot in RAW or BRAW? Practically none. How many shoot in log? Few, and of those few, half don't even know how to handle it. For the vast majority of creators, color grading means warming the tones up a bit and bumping contrast slightly. For that, Kdenlive is plenty. Second, HDR and production-ready 10-bit workflow. Here, Kdenlive has a real limitation. The architecture assumes an SDR workflow by default, and while the underlying framework supports floating-point processing and high bit depth, the interface for explicitly handling color spaces is still incomplete. For Dolby Vision or HDR10 export with proper metadata, you have to rely on external tools. Absolutely true. Here too, how many YouTube channels deliver true HDR10 with metadata? 0.something%. If you're one of them, yes, Resolve, otherwise irrelevant. Third, Fusion, node-based compositing. This is why videos with complex visual effects, background replacement, elaborate motion graphics, particles, 3D tracking get made in Resolve. Kdenlive doesn't have an equivalent of Fusion, period. If your content is VFX heavy, Kdenlive can't handle it. But if your most complex effects are a lower third with an animation, a shot zooming in on a detail with a keyframe, a custom transition, you don't need Fusion. You need a decent keyframe editor, and Kdenlive has one. Fourth, Fairlight, audio post-production. Advanced multi-track mixer, automations, professional audio effects, mastering. For a serious podcaster with 10 tracks, automatic ducking, complex processing, Fairlight is objectively above. Kdenlive has improved its audio over the last 2 years, but it isn't at that level. There you go. These are the 4 honest points. Notice something? 3 of the 4 Resolve advantages cover extreme use cases. RAW cinema, broadcast HDR, heavy VFX. The 4th covers pro audio that very few creators genuinely need to do. Now let's flip it. What does Kdenlive have that Resolve doesn't? It's truly open source. GPL v2 license. No lock-in, no mandatory account, no tomorrow we decide to shut it down or make it paid. Resolve is free, sure, but it isn't open source. The free version has limits, H.265 limited at export, no temporal noise reduction, no certain effects, that push you toward the $295 studio version. Kdenlive is free and that's it. One version, complete, free. It runs well even on modest machines. Resolve has heavy GPU requirements. Anyone with an entry-level computer struggles with complex timelines. Kdenlive on Linux runs fine on hardware from 7 or 8 years ago. Resolve is organized into 4 pages, Cut, Edit, Color, Fusion, Fairlight, that work almost like 4 separate apps. The official manual is over 500 pages. Kdenlive has a single interface, timeline-based, similar to classic Premiere. Anyone who's edited before can find their way in an hour. And then a small but significant detail. In Kdenlive, you can import your own shapes and personal images to use as wipes and transitions. In Resolve, you can't. You have to recreate them in Fusion, which, for anyone who doesn't know Fusion, is a painful experience. On one specific thing, Kdenlive is actually more flexible. That said, I have to be honest about one thing. Kdenlive sometimes crashes, especially on the Mac and Windows versions, less than it used to, much less, but it happens. Before making a video, I read what people online have to say. I don't just write things at random based on my own install. That said, here's my personal experience. In over a year, more than 100 videos, some with heavy effects, I have never had a crash or a serious bug. On Linux, the community's advice is to use the app image version if you're on Linux, which is the most stable. Automatic save every few minutes will save your life. Resolve is more solid on this front, fair to say. So, for 90% of creators on YouTube, Kdenlive covers everything. For the remaining 10%, those who do cinema, HDR broadcast, complex VFX, pro audio post, Resolve is justified. But then why do so many people who objectively belong in that 90% say, I can't live without Resolve? Let me offer you a few analogies. Do you need a professional kitchen to make carbonara? Technically, it's the best kitchen out there. Everything is better. Temperature-controlled ovens, professional tools, materials. But to make carbonara at home, a normal kitchen is enough. More than enough. In fact, paradoxically, in a hyper-professional kitchen, a beginner gets lost and does worse. Do you need a Ferrari to go grocery shopping? Maybe yes, if you like it and can afford it. But nobody would say, I can't live without my Ferrari to go to the supermarket. If someone said that, the first reaction would be, there's something else going on here. Status, identity, hobby, not function. Do you need a recording studio like Abbey Road to do a podcast at home? Obviously not. And yet that's what we're saying when we recommend Resolve to someone making 10-minute videos talking to a fixed camera. Do you need Photoshop to retouch the photo of the restaurant menu you'll put on Instagram? GIMP is enough. Often the filters on your phone are enough. Photoshop is a wonderful tool, but using it for that task is like using a cannon to kill a mosquito. These analogies matter because they remind us of something obvious that in the world of video editing we lose sight of. The right tool is the one suited to the job, not the one that makes us feel more professional. And here we get to the real point. So why does this happen? Why do so many people choose the over-dimensioned tool and then defend it on top of that? In my opinion, there are 5 reasons, and they're worth looking at honestly. 1. YouTube's implicit marketing. YouTube is full of Resolve tutorials, and that's no accident. Resolve has a recognizable brand, it gets clicks, it pulls views. A video titled 10 DaVinci Resolve Tricks That Will Change Your Life performs well. A video titled 10 Kdenlive Tricks That Will Change Your Life performs 1/10 as well. So Resolve tutorials multiply, Kdenlive stays niche, and new creators searching, how do I edit a video for YouTube, land on Resolve. It's a loop. 2. Hollywood washing. Resolve is used for Hollywood films is a status argument, not a functionality argument. The fact that it's used in productions worth tens of millions of dollars is completely irrelevant to you making a 10-minute vlog. But psychologically it works. Using the same tool the pros use, we feel more like pros. 3. The pro software equals serious work equation. It's the same bias as if you're a real photographer, you use a full-frame DSLR. False back then, false now. But it's deeply rooted. Confess, even you listening to me right now, when you see someone using free open source software, somewhere in the back of your brain you think, must be a beginner. We all think that. It's a bias. 4. Distrust of the completely free. Resolve is free, yes, but there's a paid studio version. This reassures us. Okay, there's a pro paid version, so the free version must still be serious. Kdenlive is free, and that's it. No pro version, no upsell. Subconsciously, this makes us suspicious. If it's completely free, there must be something wrong, or it must be worse. There's nothing wrong. It's simply open source. 5. Sunk cost. Whoever has already invested months learning Resolve has a rational incentive to defend it, even when for their specific case it wasn't necessary. Admitting you could have managed with Kdenlive means admitting you wasted time. It's much more comfortable to say I can't live without Resolve than to say I invested in something over-dimensioned. And here we come back to the opening analogy. When I say that 20 years ago a Linux blogger writing, I can't live without Microsoft Office, would have caught flack, it wasn't because Office was bad. Office was and is an excellent piece of software. It was because there was an awareness back then that using open source wasn't just a technical choice, it was a cultural choice. A recognition of the value of an open, collaborative development model not dependent on a corporation. Today that awareness has partly been lost, even inside the open source community. And in my opinion, it's a shame, because Resolve is a wonderful piece of software, but it's proprietary, developed by a single company, which tomorrow can decide whatever it wants. Raise studio prices, change licenses, only integrate with their hardware. Kdenlive can't do this to you. Not because it's morally better, but because it's structurally impossible for it to. So what am I telling you in practice? I'm not telling you that Resolve is bad. It's a fantastic piece of software. If you're a colorist, if you do cinema, if you do VFX, if you're in a team collaborating on complex projects, use it. It's the right tool. I'm not even telling you that you have to switch to Kdenlive by force. If you're happy with Resolve, if you've learned it and it satisfies you, keep going. What I'm telling you is something else. It's that when you recommend a tool to someone, maybe a friend starting their YouTube channel, maybe a viewer in the comments, maybe a relative, do them a favor. Don't automatically recommend Resolve. Ask yourself, does this person really need it? Or are they making vlogs, tutorials, reviews, gaming, video podcasts, and Kdenlive would be enough, with a gentler learning curve on a computer they already own, with no lock-in. And to those listening who are just starting out, don't let yourself be convinced you need the most complex software possible to be taken seriously. You don't. Your viewers don't know and don't care what software you use. They care about what you say it, how you cut, how you tell the story. That said, let's get one thing straight. I am extremely critical both of Linux and of open source. I don't do propaganda. I don't take money from sponsors. I don't have an audience used to prepackaged content made of smiles and very little critical thinking. So when I say what I'm about to say, take it for what it is, the opinion of someone who has no interest in selling you anything. I think Kdenlive is one of the most underrated programs out there, and I think it can become a real Trojan horse for Linux because it can spread well beyond the narrow circle of loyal users. It's powerful, but not too much. It's complete, but not overwhelming. It has a rich interface, yes, but not excessively convoluted. It's fast. There's no reason not to use it. It's the perfect video editor because it combines accessibility, lightness, usability, power, dynamism. Well, maybe I've said too much. See you next time, and may Linux be with you.